actually, first, what I'll do is allow our lovely representatives from CIMAT to introduce themselves. I'll start with myself. I'm Katie Clancy, and I am the program administrator. And I am the one that everyone comes to with any logistical or administrative questions. I am the non-mathematical member of our team. I'm going to pass the microphone on to Antonio.
Okay.
Antonio, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Tony Reiser. I'm a professor at CIMAT, and I'll be teaching one of the courses in the January term semester.
Awesome. And then Johan.
Hi, my name is Johan van Hoorbeek. I'm a researcher at the Computer Science Department of CIMAT, working and teaching in the area of data science, pattern recognition, machine learning.
Awesome. And George, sorry.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Jorge Zazueta. I'm an ex-student at the MSSG program and also an ex-peer ambassador.
Awesome. Okay. So I think that's everybody. And hopefully we'll have Anthony Christiana joining us as well today. He is a former student of the MSSG program as well. So we'll just be watching to see if he's in the waiting room. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Why am I not seeing it? Okay, hold on. Now I see why. One sec. With all the shuffling, I'm confused about where I was. Okay. There we go. Here we go. There's Anthony. He joined us. Awesome. We'll let him say hi while I'm sharing. Hello, Anthony. Thank you for joining us. Oh, said he was there. He's there. He has it. You have your microphone off. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start off talking a little bit about the institution that offers the MSSG program, and then we'll start big and then get a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. And we're lucky to have professors on the call, so they'll be able to talk a little bit about the specific academic content in the courses, and then we'll go towards talking about our student experience, and we'll have these guys chime in and talk about their perspectives, and we'll end it with some of the more logistical pieces about student life and housing, those sort of questions, and then we'll end the call with some questions and answers. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see if I can. For some reason, there we go. Okay, so CIMAT CIMAT stands for Centro de Investigación en Matemáticas, and CIMAT is a research center that has been around for about 40 years now, and it was formed by five researchers who moved to Guanajuato from Mexico City, and with the intention of opening a research center and also starting to work with higher education, meaning opening an undergraduate program in partnership with the University of Guanajuato, and also teaching master's and doctoral programs, which they have been doing for the last 40 years. And the professors and researchers that work with us are divided into these three main areas: probability and statistics, computer science, and pure and applied mathematics. And then lastly, CIMAT offers a very rich academic atmosphere in the sense and be a very different experience for our students that are coming to visit us from a liberal arts background, simply because Because we are a research center, we are entirely focused on these areas, and the researchers that work with us collaborate internationally and nationally and are consistently offering seminars and extra sessions and conferences that are taking place in the afternoons, and that just offers like outside of the classroom opportunities for learning for the students that come to visit us. Mathematical Sciences Semesters in Guanajuato is our specific program for undergraduates looking to study abroad. The goals of this program really were to create semester-based and short-term study abroad programming for students that have a strong grounding in mathematics. We don't necessarily stick to students that are majoring in mathematics, but they do have to have certain requirements to participate, which we'll touch on that later. And we're looking for students that are interested in applied mathematics, data science, modeling, and that are interested in innovative, forward-looking content and curriculum. And these are just a little bit of a few touch points about the program. We do offer a transcript that comes from CIMAT, accredited transcript, and that can go through the registrar office at any school in the United States or abroad, and they can work towards translating that credit into your degree. We do have an up-to-date applications-oriented curriculum. Everything is taught in English. I should mention that, even though we are located in Central Mexico. Let's see, we have small study groups, even though we're a new program, but even as we grow, we hope to remain a small program that offers individualized attention. The cultural exchange, the cohort is a mix. That's a very unique aspect of our program. We have local students from the University of Guanajuato who participate in all of our coursework, and that offers a unique experience for intercultural exchange that maybe some study abroad programs are not as focused on offering that. And then the academic immersion, and I've already sort of touched upon that, but there's just the ability to be working with all of these researchers and also with students who are entirely focused on mathematics. Our programs, our fall and spring programs, are mathematical tools for modeling and mathematical tools for data science. In the summer, we offered a short course in mathematical finance and a journey through data science. Those are the short courses that we offered this past summer. And it's not listed here, but we also have a summer course that is a 5-week long or a 6-week long regular summer program. We'll learn more about that in the presentation, that is on partial differential equations and mathematical finance. And then, as we have Antonio here with us to speak about our winter term with the short courses in the January term. And those courses are 3 weeks long, and they will be covering discrete probability and simulation and classical mechanics, dynamics, and computation. So this just goes into the short courses a little bit further into detail. Obviously, this is an intensive study abroad program. It is designed to offer one entire academic course credit in a very short period of time. We actually just went through this program. We piloted it in summer, and we had really wonderful results. Actually, Johan could also speak a little bit about that because he was one of our professors in the summer short course program. But the idea is we are creating a small and diverse cohort of Mexican national and international students to create dynamic and collaborative learning. And there is definitely a project as a central element of that learning experience where the students are working together in teams to facilitate their exploration of the course content. And there is a lot of opportunity for intercultural sort of experiences and sharing during these short courses because everyone is working on teams, and at this point there's it's the students that are participating from our undergraduate program are also on summer break. And so because everyone's on summer break and everyone's only doing this program, it turns out to be kind of like a really nice, rich experience where everyone is focused on the same thing. And let's see, so those are our course options. And then Antonio, would you mind talking a little bit? I have this slide about the course, but since you're going to be teaching this course, would you talk a little bit about the course and what you can envision?
Sure. So the class will be a class on advanced classical mechanics. Well, I guess for undergrads it would be advanced classical mechanics. If it was a grad class, it'd be sort of basic classical mechanics. But we'll look at the Lagrangian Hamiltonian formulations of classical mechanics, and also also we'll try to do a little bit of nonlinear dynamics. And I think an aspect of the course that I think will be a bit unique is that I'm planning to incorporate computer simulations throughout the class. I'm not asking too much background in in fact, I'm not asking any background in computation. We're going to use a language called Racket, which is very easy to kind of pick up very fast and quite intuitive in I think most ways. We'll be helping people along with that. I would like the students to have a background that the kind of full calculus sequence plus ODEs and linear algebra would be up. But I think that's generally the requirement for everything. So,
It is.
So I think that's
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. And so in our other class, discrete probability and simulation, will be taught by Professor James Melbourne. And anyone that's interested in learning more about that can send us a message at our email address, and we can send the course curricula for both of those opportunities, because those courses are not listed on the website like the rest of our MSSG coursework, but we're happy to share more information with anyone who's interested. Okay, next I would love to ask, there you are. I would love to ask Johan to speak a little bit about the spring semester and what is entailed in that program.
Okay, thanks, Kate. So the focus of the spring semester is on data science. The aim is to familiarize the participants with the main questions and the main tools. So of course, there will be a lot of examples, but the distinguished feature is that the focus is not limited to be a user of data science, but more on trying to understand the methods behind. And to this end, you need, of course, a mathematical language, mathematical methods. And as all the participants have a background in mathematics, so we take advantage of that. That's one component. On the other hand, you need also the algorithmic tools. So the idea is not that you just run software where other people implemented already the methods, but where you understand, where you are able to create and where you are able to analyze algorithms for specific problems. So in that sense, it's also an application of the programming background of the students. And so you can see on the slide the set of courses that will be offered. So on one hand, there are basic courses related to probability and statistics, and of course the connection to questions in data science. Also numerical analysis, numerical optimization will be important, where you see many optimization techniques that are helpful to solve very practical problems in data science, and equally important, how to implement them. Yes, there are other topics like design of algorithms, discrete mathematics, and geometric and graphing tools. On the next slide, you can see some more details about one course in particular, the numerical optimization and machine learning course. I think that's one of the main course of that semester. And as you can see from the description, it's a combination of understanding, studying, analyzing, and applying. Yes, and you see the two basic references that are used in that course. Okay.
Thank you, Johan. Okay, and then I'm just quickly, I do want to mention one quick thing because there's a discrepancy. And it says here 15 weeks, and in the other section it says 14. The difference is like this one is actually taking into context that we do offer a 1 week long intensive workshop at the beginning of the semester. So when the students arrive, they're at the fall semester and the spring semester, there's 1 week dedicated to this workshop. And in the spring, the focus is on whatever the programming language that will be used in that semester, bringing all of the students sort of up at least to the same level, because we recognize that students are coming from different backgrounds, they're coming from different schools, different areas of expertise, and we just want to make sure everyone has basic tools before we get started. So this 15 includes that workshop. Okay. And then the summer partial differential equation. This is a program that focuses on partial differential equations and then like the multidisciplinary features that this math can offer. And also, there is a course that is has been very interesting for some of our students who came this summer, and they participated in the short course for mathematical finance. And let's see. But those are the three courses. You can see that these are offered: differential equations and numerical modeling, linear partial differential equations, and then mathematical finance. Let's see. On, we also have our fall semester, which is applied in its own right, but it is more focused on modeling. And this semester we let's see, actually, Anthony, do you have a way to turn your microphone? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could, hey, Anthony, thank you for joining. So Anthony is one of our former students, and he actually participated in this semester. And could you just tell us a little bit about the difference between these math classes and the classes that you were taking back home, and sort of like what were some of the skills that you learned that felt different than the math classes back at Hamilton?
Yeah, so I went to Hamilton College, small liberal artsy. So coming to CIMAT, I got a lot more hard skills in all these classes. So I had never really programmed in Python before, and I took modeling for dynamics and did a lot of Python programming. Also for differential geometry, yeah, it's a much more applied focus, which was a nice difference from all my theoretical classes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, and I'm going to be calling on you later about your experience as well. We also offer non-mathematical courses as a part of the program, and these courses will go back to your college as credit-based credit-based courses. So we have Spanish language courses, and then we also have history and culture. One of the benefits that I see of taking these courses with us is the experiential nature of these courses. So there are traditional class time. There are classes that incorporate traditional conversation and grammatical themes, But then also, there's a lot of experiential learning that takes place out of the classroom or in the classroom, but participating in different activities where you're practicing the language that applies to whatever the activity is for that chosen day, for that given day. Then, actually, Anthony, I'm going to come back to you on that. Can you talk a little bit about the experience that you had learning Spanish here with us?
My classes in Phoenix were so awesome, and I learned Spanish in like one-on-one sessions with the professor Hasiel, who I still am like in contact with and text often, but also going for hikes, visiting other places in the city, going out to eat. It was just like an all-encompassing way to learn Spanish, and the professors are so awesome.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Anthony. Anthony was very dedicated to learning Spanish, and he did a great job at sticking with it. Then we also have cultural and language opportunities outside of the Spanish school. We, thanks to folks like George, who participate in the Peer Ambassadors program, there is a cultural and social calendar that's generated for each semester, and that involves things like, but not limited to, city tours, hikes and nature activities, Mexican cooking classes, and then Spanish language workshops or like conversational tables. George, can you just chime in a little bit about the role that you so wonderfully participated in as one of our peer ambassadors, and just like that, like sort of what you see as your role and the calendar that you guys offered for students?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so in general, it's sort of just helping, I guess, like bridge the gap. There's a lot of like, I guess, like culture shocks that students might need to get used to, which just has to do with like a different country and then a very specific city in that different country, a different academic program, all these things, right? So the peer ambassadors typically try to like pinpoint where some of that help can be extended and then just like smooth things over. So as far as academics, I think Anthony touched a little bit on that. But then as far as like cultural and like social opportunities, there's a lot to get to know in Guanajuato, and it can be unfamiliar to someone who's not used to the language, to the country, to the geography, all of that. So we try to like offer different events that are specific to Guanajuato and also just like in general that might be interesting for the country. There's a lot of like museums, there's a lot of like Katie mentioned, hikes that take place. There's a lot of variety to get to know. So it's good to have someone at least point you in the right direction, I think, and that's what we try to do.
Awesome. Thank you, George. Let's see. And then this was just another student's perspective. This student actually just participated in the summer short course, and I just thought it was an interesting synopsis of his experience and his take on Guanajuato and on studying with CIMAT. I think also he, like Anthony, I think he had interest in both sides of the coin, very much looking for Spanish and Mexican culture, and was dedicated to practicing and improving, but also very dedicated to mathematics and economics. And so this work really was a good marriage for him to participate in. And he talked a lot about the connections, like just feeling like even though it was a short period of time, that CIMAT and also the students from Guanajuato are so open, and everyone was so willing to sort of work in this collaborative, friendly atmosphere that was really meaningful for him. And he highly recommends the program, but he does stress the interest in learning the language because it does benefit you and those around you when you're able to communicate, and you can create your own sort of social interaction, not just be working on the math. And this just gives a little overview for the very important but non-mathematical or non-academic aspects of the program. It's important for those of you that are interested in coming to Guanajuato and being in another country, it's important to know that you will be supported. If you need anything, we try to have multiple levels of support. So we have, as we mentioned, we have students like George who offer peer-to-peer support. All students are assigned an academic mentor, which is a professor who is not teaching in the program. And then we also have mental health support available and 24/7 health professionals who are on call. And then all of the pre-departure, we do pre-departure calls, on-site orientation, health and safety, like discussions and workshops, just to make sure that everyone, as George mentioned, gets through that transition of understanding how to get around, not to drink the water, how to wash your fruits and vegetables, like simple things that for us after being here become normal, but we know are really important for the students to have that sort of checklist of how to live here comfortably and safely. And then in general, Guanajuato is a very warm in the sense of the culture and also the weather. And there's a lot of tradition and a lot of heritage, but that's blended with a young, vibrant culture that comes from the University of Guanajuato, from CIMAT, and from the UNESCO World Heritage Site. There's just always a lot of people coming through, and that keeps things, I think, moving forward and really sort of progressive and a lot of different things happening. Just checking in once more, Anthony, would you mind talking a little bit about your experience um, from your perspective of this, like as a student, the support that you received in these different areas, and any sort of anecdotes that might give people the understanding of what it felt like to be here.
Yeah. Again, there's like support from all these different directions. So the Phoenix professors are
Yeah.
like my buddies, and absolutely had an incredible time with them. But also the students from DeMat, the local university in Guanajuato, were overwhelmingly warm and inviting, and I ended up going to parties and hanging out and going on hikes and exploring the city, totally supported by friends and people around me who were interested in my success. It was great.
Awesome. And what about the more institutional support with your health and wellness, or like when you needed like something that was a little bit more than social, like did you like
Yeah.
what was that?
Academically, all the professors were available, and
Great.
yeah, my classes were small enough that there was like a personal relationship there all the time, and I could ask for help. But also, I got sick like very early on, right off the plane, and had Dr. Claudia come to my house and make me, give me an antibiotic or whatever I needed. Yeah, so you're taken care of in whatever way.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yes, because things happen and you're far from home and it's a different system. And so it's important to know, like we would all love to just not get sick when we're traveling, but those things happen. So it's important to know that you have someone that you can call. And our housing, we do only offer independent student housing. We try to have all of the students staying in this one community that's called San Javier. And San Javier is a small, very, very quiet neighborhood, about two bus stops away from campus, and a walk if you're Anthony and you enjoy hiking up the hill. But you can walk to class. But it's a neighborhood that's full of faculty members, and also many of the students live in that area or close to that area. And independent room assignments, like we look for apartments where you will be sharing a bathroom and possibly and definitely sharing the kitchen space and the living space, but everyone has their own bedroom. And we know that that's an important thing for students at this point in their lives, to have a little bit of privacy and like autonomy in that way. And it's really close to everything you need. you have the grocery stores right around the corner, convenience store, pharmacy, ATM, all of those things are right nearby. General requirements for and expectations. So getting into the program, this is just an overview of what we look for. As and I think Tony mentioned, there's the general requirements for the MSSG program. That's for all of our courses. It's linear algebra and then the calculus sequence, which is differential integral and multivariate, and then some programming experience. And then we do mention it is important that students have had experience with proofwriting. It occurs to us that every institution is doing this in a different way, but most institutions have one class at least where students are introduced um, to proofwriting, and it's important that they've had that course before coming in the fall because this as a concept is really important in the academic community at CIMAT, and all of the teachers rely heavily on this ability or that language. So, and then last but not least, if someone is coming and they're a non-English speaker and they're not coming from a U.S. institution, but rather coming directly from another another international location, we ask for their TOEFL or Cambridge equivalent scores. And then to apply, the entire application is located on our website. We ask for a current transcript and 2 letters of recommendation. Um, and then the interview happens like after one has been uh, actually accepted, but we do try to speak with every single applicant before they arrive here with us, just to get a closer look at what students have seen, what their background is, what they're concerned about, what they're excited about, just so that we get a sense of who our students are before they arrive with us. And that's something, because we're a small organization, I think we're able to do that, but it is also something that I hope that we're able to continue doing as we grow. Yeah, and then the expectations you can see, all students have to complete the full process and register and complete the virtual orientation process. We want everyone to be informed before they get here, so we know that it's helpful to know, like, when you're arriving, what to expect, and then we do have that students complete a minimum course load of 3 mathematics courses plus the Spanish or Mexican culture and history. And that is everything we have specifically to the program. I would like to open it back up to Johan and to Antonio, Jorge, and Anthony. If any of you guys have anything else that you would like to just throw out there, anything that I missed, anything you guys think is important to share with our audience.
So I can't think of anything at the moment myself.
Okay.
If someone else might. So,
That's okay. Okay.
I do think it's super helpful back to academics again. Like, I'm starting now grad school, and having an applied view of certain topics that you kind of have only ever seen in a more abstract or theoretical course is like great as a way to enter into higher levels of math. And so, yeah, if you're on the fence about going into applied program, which I was, I don't really want to do applied math, but I ended up having a great time and learning a lot of skills that like are very useful.
Okay. Thank you for that, Anthony. Okay, well, I appreciate you guys being here and for being patient with me with all of those difficulties.